think we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Heart of Ackworth podcast. I'm Melissa, your host, and we are here today with a wonderful special guest, one of my favorite people here in Ackworth that is an amazing healer, and this is Elizabeth with Mama Biz. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes, good. Well, welcome to our little show. This show is all about getting to know people here in the community, what they do, how they give back to the community, what they want to see change in the community. So we're going to talk about all of that today. But let's start a little bit about you and who you are. Where are you from?
Yeah, well, I was born in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh.
But I have been in Georgia since I was in third grade.
Third grade.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Always in the Ackworth area?
No, we originally, when we first moved here, we moved to Dallas, Georgia, which was a huge culture shock in that moment in time.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Woodstock when I was in high school.
Nice, okay.
So I've generally been in this area. I've only been in, technically in Ackworth for about 6 years.
Okay. So. Where'd you go to high school?
Etowah.
Etowah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Woodstock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yep.
okay.
Town Lake area.
Oh, nice. Very good. Okay, and you have kids?
Yes,
if you're willing to share.
Yeah, so I've got 2 biological and a stepdaughter.
Great.
So stepchild, girl,
Uh-huh.
she is 25, and then I have 2 boys of my own.
Yeah.
Who are 21 and 14.
Yes, you have a gap.
Yes.
We both have gaps in
Big
our
gap.
kids' ages,
Yeah.
but that's fun. That's
Yeah.
great. Okay, so you live in the Ackworth area. Tell me, let's start with a little bit about Ackworth. What is one of your favorite places to go in Ackworth?
The park.
The
I
park.
love to go to the park.
Logan Park.
And walk and run and just enjoy nature.
And Logan Park, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you go down to Cobble Park by the lake?
It's been a while since I've been down there.
Yeah.
So, are there trails for like walking and hiking?
Yes,
oh, good
right
to
along
know.
the lake. And,
All the way around
and
the
then
lake.
it sneaks up around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must go check
You
it out.
you have to go check it out. Also, it's they're doing a lot of work down there. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but there's like a veteran memorial with the flags and stuff. But I think they're expanding it, and they're going to be able to host more events down there and grow some more business down there to the lake. It's beautiful. We go paddleboarding and kayaking. Do you do that much?
I've not really done much paddleboarding, but just a couple times.
Oh.
But I guess the only time I've really been to Cobble Park was bringing the kids to the beach or a birthday party or some kind of event. So I was not aware of the trails. So that has really piqued my interest.
Good. Maybe we'll go sometime together. I gotta start to get
it.
running again. Perfect. Okay, what's one of your favorite restaurants? It doesn't have to be down in the city. It could anywhere in Ackworth.
Yeah.
But it can be.
I don't know if I have a favorite because I like all different kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a little Jamaican place that I'm excited to try.
Have you tried it yet? Caribbean Vibes?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
My
good.
family really loves the little pizza shop over here.
Fusco's is great. Mm-hmm.
I've got a lot of family members who love JD Barbecue.
Oh, yeah. They're really good.
Yeah.
I need to go there more often. They have great lunch specials, a lot of food. Yeah. Good. Okay, so you own your own business and you're expanding it and growing it and offering new services. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in what you do.
Yeah. Okay, well, my journey started as a young woman and having reproductive issues. And so, me just being who I am, I really didn't feel like what was being offered to me for my options to deal with what I was dealing with. And so as a young adult, I felt like there was something different for me. So I started exploring, looking more into holistic options, and really that intrigued my passion to start learning about my body as a woman and how to tend to it more naturally. So really, the last 30 years have been me just exploring all these options, learning about myself, and learning options, how to help the whole mind, body, everything.
Yeah.
And so So that's basically what I do in a nutshell is women's empowerment. I offer massage therapy, lymphatic massage. I do a lot of educational classes. Like I'm an herbalist, so I teach people how to make their own things and how to use what's in their house, and you know, give them access to the knowledge and the know-how of when to use certain herbs, as well as looking at different types of foods that could benefit them, mindset, all, you know, moving the body. You know, I really just kind of break that down and meet people where they're at. So, you know, that's about what I do.
About all. So let's get, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper because I received a massage from you, and I cried, and I released, and I healed, and I haven't rescheduled, but I'm going to because I definitely need it. But I want people out there to understand there's so many different types of healers out there, and you are a very special one because you truly do give a safe space for women. Women are your clientele.
Yes.
Do you work with any men at all?
I do have some men clients.
Okay.
They're usually just the partner or child or something like that.
Connected to a client already.
A client,
Okay, so, and I want all of you guys to understand also is how important it is, whether you're a woman or are married to one or have one as a child or a mother, how important it is that women stay connected to our bodies, because we very often disconnect both our mind, our bodies, and we just keep going and we forget
giving and not learning to listen.
Exactly.
Right?
Listen to our bodies and make sure that, you know, they always say put your oxygen mask on first, right? And that's what you're teaching women, is to take care of themselves first so they can give from a place that's healed, that's strong, right?
Yes.
So you started that with massage, and her massages do start, some of them start with the womb, which I've never experienced until you, and it was so empowering and healing to be able to connect to that part of your body, especially if you've had children or, you know, any type of hormonal issues or surgeries or whatever it may be, how important it is to work on those scars and work on not just the physical scars, but the emotional scars that come with that. So you are like really helping so many people in such an amazing way. Do you want to share, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, one of your favorite testimonials of how a woman was able to reconnect?
Yeah.
I know I put you on the spot.
Yeah.
You probably have so many.
Well, you know, say for instance, a woman who has had a hysterectomy or a C-section even.
Yeah.
Because some of these women who have C-sections don't, like, they disconnect because it's a traumatic experience, because most of them do not plan on having a C-section, right? And so there's this whole emotional processing that happens in that time, and that, you know, once you've like gone through that and then you have the baby, then you're like even more disconnected because you have this stored emotion there that you don't even know is an issue, and could be an issue, and in the postpartum time that can really affect your mental emotional health, as well as your physical recovery. And so this work really kind of helps you to heal on a variety of levels. And so the testimonial would be, you know, just these women that I work with who've had C-sections become like they start to have sensation, because a lot of women are numb there, you know, and then as well as, you know, they're relieved of that emotional burden of that weight they were carrying around the stress of the situation.
Traumatic.
Yes. So on a physical level, you know, their wound heals quicker. Their bellies are flatter. Because after you've had a C-section, a lot of women have like a little bump, right? You know, just below their belly button, but between their pelvis. And so that scar prevents like good flow, blood flow and whatnot to the area, which prevents overall healing. It helps with digestion as well, because that can be affected. I mean, it's all right here, you know. So So the women that I've worked with who've had C-sections have that emotional and that physical release and able to heal, and they feel connected to their body again, like they can feel this part of themselves again.
Right.
Yes.
How empowering and amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, like, this whole podcast I put together to inform the community, and other people have talked about how when their mental health is stable and things like that, they become better part of the community. How would you say that affects women in our community, even here in Ackworth, like being able to go out because maybe they feel more confident, or what other ways can it affect the women in our community?
Yeah, you know, they just feel better in their bodies so that they can show up in their lives and whatever it is that they're doing. You know, they can be better mothers and partners and all of these things. And really, that ultimately, that is my goal, is to help women become more connected with themselves, no matter what stage they are, because as women, we nurture and give ourselves. That's just our natural ability. I mean, it's a beautiful ability.
It is.
But because of the way that we have our current life is structured, there's not a lot of time for what I call the divine feminine, for like really being in tune, having that intuition. So the more we can learn to listen and give to ourselves and shine bright, all the people in our communities, let it be our children, our coworkers, our friends, our partners, family members, whoever, like, you're able to give in a brighter, bigger way to them,
and receive right, because that's a big part. It's like being able to receive, and when you're connected and grounded and showing up as your strong, independent self, then you can give and receive equally. So it's amazing.
And really, you know, for me, like, this is part of my vision for making a better tomorrow, is empowering women to do this, so that the children that come from these women, you know, are strong individuals that see the importance. They see that their mother is taking care of herself, and she's taking the time to take a walk, or to go get a massage, or to prepare healthy foods for herself, you know, and providing those for her family as well. So that, you know, in my grandiose vision of what I do, that is the root of it, is for a better tomorrow, so that these children experience a healthy environment, so that they too can go forward into the world with a healthy sense of self and how to be the best version of you, whatever that is.
Exactly. So you mentioned food and what we feed ourselves, and I know that you have a workshop that you do, and I always like to bring up a little bit of a controversial question about the city. Because that's what I do. So recently the city announced that in the city limits we're not allowed to have chickens, or like certain animals that make noises, like they don't want our dogs barking, and I mean, that's a natural thing, but the big thing is no chickens, and a lot of people are moving towards having their own source of food, because groceries are either very expensive or they're just full of yucky extras, right? And so tell us, without being able to have chickens, well, first of all, you can be honest and share what you think about that. And then also, I know I'm putting you on the spot, also share, like, in our own backyards, you know, that what you teach about that we could find on our own lands, or, you know, at a community garden or something like that, if you could share.
Right. Well, I feel like if you have enough property and your animals are not, you know, disruptive, exactly. You know, I mean, unless you have a rooster going off, but honestly, you don't even need a rooster, you know, unless you're wanting to produce, because the rooster could create an issue with fertilizing eggs, and then you end up with chicks, and you don't want them unless that's what you're wanting to do. But somebody who's simply just wanting to have some hens, you know, hens,
fresh
like
eggs.
I mean, there's definitely ways of having them, even in smallish yards, that are not a bother for other people. So, so
if you are in the city and you want chickens, then we need to show up at the city meetings, at the town hall meetings, and we need to represent ourselves as city locals, and we can ask for things like that to be reconsidered, because this is our food. This is our, you know, if all the chickens that from the grocery store we didn't get eggs, then where are we going to get eggs? And eggs are very important to eat.
Yes.
They're delicious.
Yes.
And the ones that are fresh, pasture raised, no hormones, that makes a big difference. Right.
And you know, the closer to nature that these animals can grow and live, just like us as humans, right? They need fresh air, they need sunshine, they need the foods that are appropriate for them, which quite honestly, you know, chickens, they just peck at bugs and all kinds of stuff. So if they can be outside, and of course you need to give them feed and a little bit of food scraps, but you know, for the most part, if you can give them what they need, just like us as humans, and that's part of what I teach, is then their eggs are going to be healthier. They're going to be healthier. So just like us as women, our what we reproduce is going to be healthier. Right? So
it's so important what you put into your body for your physical body, for your mental health, for your brain health. That's something we both talk about, how important it is. And there's a lot of my friends are like, eggs don't matter. Like you could just buy regular eggs. And when you open an egg and you see the yellow egg yolk compared to that orange, brown, like real thick egg yolk, right? Like you could tell the difference and you could taste the difference. I don't care what anyone says. They are different. The nutrients are different that are inside of them. And just like you said, what we put into our body changes how our body produces and how we move and how we live and our joints and all of the things that you teach about. So it's really, really interesting to learn. Can you explain a little bit more about what you do for your workshops? You don't have to say where or anything right now, but like what you do for those workshops with food and
So this past year I've done a series on kitchen herbalism. So basically I am bringing back some of the old granny ways, teaching people how to utilize things that are already in their kitchens, maybe in their little herb garden out back, you know, and I do touch upon a few things that are, you know, local here, so that grow wild, you know, so if you have a yard, you know, so just kind of helping people to get in touch with that component. But if you don't have a clean space that you can get stuff from, you know, even just to be empowered with, you know, being able to walk around and be like, oh, I didn't know that's dandelion, you know, and that's really good for, you know, my liver, right, or my digestive health. So really, I love these classes because I love cooking and preparing healthy foods. So really empowering others with the ability to do that on their own, just by, you know, having a different perspective on their spice cabinet. And the benefits of why you should add more paprika to your
and the salt and pepper aren't your only seasonings. In fact, you probably don't need much salt when you start using all these other herbs and you start to actually taste the food. There are so many people out there. I mean, I grew up with not a lot of money, and so we had like food stamps, and we got all the like back then you get canned foods and all the crap foods. Now you could use food stamps on everything, which I hope more people would be more interested in buying the foods that are good for you, like shopping on the outside of the grocery store, right? Don't go down those aisles with the pastas and breads and...
Well, and you know what? And there should be workshops for these homeless people on foraging wild food.
Right.
Because there are simple, common things that grow around that you can get for free. Actually, can I share a little story?
Please do.
That was like so, you know... So several years ago, my husband's a musician, and several years ago, we have some friends who are in a band, and we were down in Buckhead at their performance, and we were outside for a little break, and this woman came up. She was obviously homeless, and she had a young boy, which just broke my heart because he was about the same age as my son at the time, and so... this woman, she was just intoxicated and like just kind of going off, and the guards are trying to like, you know, kind of deal with her, and she's just doing her thing, and the poor little boy was just sitting there, just kind of like he was not even fazed by this because he was so used to his mom doing that. And so I was sitting there in that moment like, what can I do for this little boy in this moment? So I'm looking in my purse for a granola bar. Do I have a granola bar or something I can give this boy? And I did. I gave him a few granola bars. Just realizing the life he had there. And as I'm sitting there looking around, I noticed at this venue we were at, they have these pots with like kale and rosemary and all these things in
That's
it.
cool.
So what I did, so after I gave him the granola bars, I pulled off a little bit of the rosemary and a little bit of kale.
Nice.
And I was like, so I told the little boy, I said, smell this and taste it. So I was like, if you need food or something safe when you're walking around the city, if you see these two plants here, make sure you smell it, and you know it looks like the one we talked about. Then you've got yourself a little bit of food.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Just amazing to be able to teach that in such a horrific experience of the little boy, and hopefully he takes that onto his future, and who knows, you changed his life for sure.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's just like that simple.
Simple.
And honestly, that like with everything that I do, I'm really just bringing it back to basics for people and helping them to reconnect to these basic ideas, because I feel like we're in information overload. And so when
who knows what's actually real anymore?
Exactly.
Right?
So when it comes to just like the basic understanding, the more we can have the basic understanding of our bodies and how they work, and the kind of things that we need to be well and healthy, then I mean you're golden. You know, and if something comes up, you can manage and handle a lot more things on your own. And granted, you know, there's a time and a place for medicine, and don't get me wrong, like, you know, definitely use that, but I like to bring that power of overall health and wellness to where you need less of that.
Right. If we're more preventative, then we won't have to be at the doctors all the time, right? Because we're treating our body as it should be treated, instead of just waiting until we feel sick to go to the doctor, because we keep giving it sugar, which is inflammation for your body, and all the stuff. And there's so many people that don't even know that bread turns to sugar, you know, things like that in your body, and it's like the way you process these foods. And so you are doing great work sharing all this information, and you have a course coming out soon.
Yes, so I have an online course that should be out in the next few weeks.
Nice.
And that can be found on my website, as well as on my website I have a little tea shop.
Yes. Gosh, we gotta talk about the tea.
Because that's something else I want to do as far as my business growth, is getting my teas into more local shops. I would love to eventually have my own little like healing space in a historic area, and it could be here sometime.
Yes,
like, you know, when the time is right, I feel like it's supposed to come through. But yeah, you know, just sharing the simplicity of simply drinking tea. And there's so many health benefits. I kind of look at herbal teas like it can be like herbal vitamins. You know, it's just like liquid vitamins. That's an enjoyable process. So
I have to share about your teas. So I have brain training centers next door, and I have people like with focus issues and feeling depressed during the holidays, and or just always, or anxious. And so I bought some teas to either sell or share. And I've shared this with you, but I have a couple clients, and one of my favorite clients, he's an 18-year-old football player, hockey player, and every time he comes in, he's so waiting for the tea. He's like I won't even make tea all day, and then I know he's coming in, I'm like, I better turn on the tea, because he is like, I don't even have to ask him anymore. I'm just like, do you want some tea? Every time it's yes, so now I just like make him a cup of tea, and he is so thankful. And that tea, I mean, right now I'm using the Blues Away, Gone, Blues Be Gone, Blues Be Gone, and the herbs in it is just like so uplifting, just you know, experiencing all the different flavors and aromas, and it's loose leaf, right? So we use a special you know,
like a teapot,
heater,
a little
teapot.
steeper,
right? Steeper. So yes, thank you for sharing your teas and making those, and people really don't understand, like, buying a tea bag with all the chlorine on the bag, and you think you're doing something healthy, because nobody really teaches you that there's a bunch of chemicals on this tea bag versus a loose leaf, right?
Right, and actually there's more bang for your buck with loose leaf tea, because it's whole plant versus, you know, if you look at a tea bag, it's just like a little bit of powder in there. It's a very powdered herb. So with full leaf teas, you really, there's more flavor and there's more bang for your buck, and more like if you're looking to get a nutritional and medicinal property from it. If you use tea bags, you have to use 3 tea bags compared to like
spoonful.
1 to 3 teaspoons, depending on how strong you like it, of loose leaf tea.
Yeah.
So overall, it's just so much better, and I feel like these teas, like it just brings me joy because you're a young client. Like I feel like when you drink a tea like that your body really like resonates with.
Yes.
You almost feel like your cells are dancing and they're happy inside. So when you drink it, you just feel alive all of a sudden and well.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, think about all the like communities around tea, the Asian culture, the English culture, like teas bring people together. It brings community together to have a tea party. I remember when Mila, my oldest, was 2 years old, I had a tea party for her and her little 2 and 3 year olds. We had this little tea party and they all dressed up and had tea, and it's so like sweet. It was so fun. And so we got to think about maybe doing a tea party and introducing the teas. That would be a lot of fun. So
well, and that's actually part of some of my vision for what I would like to have eventually is also to have like a little side treats of some of my like kitchen herbalism, like little like dips and fun little spices and things like that. Fun little noshes to have with your tea as you're in a healthy environment, sharing goodness with other people. So
I love it. So good.
But yeah, so my I feel like we went off on that, but I just wanted to share about my online course. So, so I've created it's going to be a healing academy. So it's called Empower Her Healing Academy.
Love it.
And the first course is like the foundational course, and that's what's going to be released, and more will come.
Okay.
So it's basically just a holistic wellness guide for women to understand their bodies and the fluctuations we have and how to work with that to be healthy and well. And then loads of recipes, loads of insight on different types of diets, exercise, movement. I've got somatic movement tutorial. I've got chakra dancing tutorial on there. So there's tutorials on making your own sauerkraut and how to make these herbal infusions and teas. And what else was there? Oh, there's yogurt. I've got a tutorial on making your own yogurt. So so that is
awesome.
The main course that's about to come out. And the courses following that, I'm going to dig deeper into the different phases of a woman's life.
Nice.
So there's a deeper, more specific dive. I just wanted to do this first one so that there's a good foundation on it. So it's like the foundations course with more to come. And then you can just kind of tap in on wherever you are in your life. But as well, in the other things to come are going to be more of the tea, more education on tea, and like kitchen herbalism and bringing those skills back into every home, even at the most minute amount. I feel like can make some significant differences in everyone's life.
So good. I love all your work, and I love that you're here in our community and that you have so much healing information and all of it. So thank you so much for being here. One question I always end with is, who or what inspires you?
Oh, wow. There's so many things, like all the beautiful, okay, this is it. So all the beautiful elders that I have trained with, and I've sat at the feet of, and I can name, several wise women herbalists that I've learned with. But the very first time I went and sat with some of these women, I was like, wow. Because they were much older than me, but they were vibrant and healthy. And you could just see that even though they were like in their 70s and their 80s, that they were just alive.
Full of
and
life.
Healthy. And like their skin was glowing. And I was like, that's how I want to age.
Amazing. And you are.
Yeah.
I love it. And thank you for teaching us how to do that. Well, Thank you again for being here. Thank you guys for watching The Heart of Ackworth. If you want to be a guest, let me know. Just message me. And we're going to put your website in the comments. So please reach out. Especially look for that course coming out in a couple weeks, because there's so much great information that's easy to understand that you can make changes in your life. 2026 is a time for change. Yes. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
All right. How do I end it?